I'll tell you something. There is a lot to be said for understanding which buttons to click when. 8 minutes and 27 seconds late. This is the Mopco Improv Theater. My name is Michael Burns, and I'm so glad to have finally made it. You would not believe what I went through to be with you this afternoon. And you've probably been hanging out saying, well, this isn't happening. I'm going to go open the refrigerator again and look in. Have you been doing that a lot? I go out to my refrigerator probably 27 times a day. I open the door like a 17-year-old boy. I look inside. It hasn't changed. There is still that jar of pickles of unknown age and provenance in the back that I'm not going to touch. Let's face it. I mean, coronavirus may be dangerous, but wow, we're talking about those pickles. I don't even want to think about what's going on in there. So anyway, Mopco is Schenectady's own, the Capital Region's own improv theater. And during less interesting times, we do shows every weekend here in the Mopco. And guess what? We do shows here for you during these times. If you go to live.mopco.org, you can see a Mopco show this weekend, Friday night at 8, Saturday night at 8. You can give us suggestions, and you can check the whole thing out. It appears that I'm only talking to one other person right now, so whoever you are, I want you to know you're very important. And I'd also like you to know the value of being on time. It's very, very important. Because if you're supposed to do a 4 o'clock thing for the DSIC and your computer doesn't help you out and you don't go up until 4:08:27, you lose your audience. Let's face it, this is what's happening. I'm okay with that though. You know why? Whoever you are, I love you. You're very important. Now, you might have heard somebody laugh just now. That was my business partner, partner in crime, and life partner, Kat Coppett. Kat, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can our listener hear us? Maybe he'll type into the chat and let us know.
I don't know. Listener, can you hear Kat? I'm wondering if you know where the chat window is and you can type in and let us know that you can hear her. Oh, it looks like 7 people. We're up to 7 people. Hi, folks. There's a love. And if somebody would type into the chat and let us know if you heard Kat talk just now. Or, oh, look at all this feedback coming in. I feel so much better already.
7%
You would not believe it.
increase in just a moment, in just 60 minutes.
That's really incredible.
That's faster than a virus.
That is, oh, wow, don't even go there. So I'm wondering, can folks hear Kat talking? Yeah, if you can, there's a chat window. If you can type into that chat, is that possible? And let us know that you can hear Kat talking from far away. Yes, we can hear Kat. Things are better already. So I was telling the folks a minute ago, but I don't think anybody was there. We checked this all out. We had a Zoom call going, and we were going to go live to Facebook through Zoom so we could have 3 of us improvising for you. And it all worked in a sort of a dry tech rehearsal. And then we got down here, and I clicked on the thing, and it just said go to YouTube. And I couldn't go to Facebook, but that's all right because we're improvising. Say that again? I'm
not alone here.
You're not alone here.
No, I have a friend with me.
Who's with you?
Hello. I am the friend.
Oh, Olivia Armstrong, one of my favorite improvisers in the whole world. How you doing today, Olivia?
I'm doing great. I am wondering, and I'm if our now 7 viewers maybe want a tour of the space if they've never been here before, as something to look forward to.
I think that's a fantastic idea. So I was going to do this. Now I got to unplug and replug soon because when things go wrong, they do. If you're a performer here, then you're used to seeing something like this, and it usually is full of people who are all smiling and laughing and pointing at you until you wonder, like, did I actually zip my fly up? I did, though. That's okay. The exits are clearly marked. They are the doors. And if we walk this way now, that's a little bit kind of fuzzy because it's so bright out there in the lobby. But now we're in the lobby. There are some wonderful improvisers who perform here regularly, and intermission or during a show or during a party or what have you, people kind of hang out here in the lobby. We have a little snack bar. Normally those things are full of beautiful cookies and so forth. We sell hot dogs and popcorn and all sorts of things, but we're not gonna focus on that today, because we're not trying to sell you popcorn. What we're trying to do is to have you have a little bit better time for a few minutes than you might have otherwise. We could go upstairs. There are stairs. They go up.
Hey, when you're telling them about going upstairs,
Yeah.
maybe you can tell them about how they can have a good time still on Friday nights and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock.
Well, Olivia, what can they do on Friday and Saturday nights at 8 o'clock at live.mopco.org, Olivia?
Well, if they go to live.mopco.org,
Yes.
they can see live streaming in real-time improv shows from the Mopco Improv
Really?
Theater and some guest artists. Yes,
Wait a minute,
really.
that's us.
That is us.
That is so awesome. You mean we are on YouTube, and you can just type into your web browser at live.mopco.org and see us Friday and Saturday night at 8 o'clock?
That's correct. And you can give us suggestions and give input in the chat window while the shows are happening, so you still are involved.
That
we are
is
hoping to get audience participation figured out. So sometime soon
We're
you will
working
be
on
able
it.
to do that.
Now, you see that logo in the background on the wall, that's Copit. We also have a consultancy. We do a lot of work with organizations all around the world using improv and story techniques to help them build better corporate cultures. Kat, tell them just a little bit about that.
Well, as people, I'm sure these days are feeling, human beings are called upon to improvise, not just on stage performing for comedy entertainment, but often in their lives in other contexts.
So what you're saying, if I understand you correctly, is that the skills of the improviser are very important for people, even in just their daily life.
That's exactly right. So sometimes things aren't, the normal, routine, habitual ways that you expect them to be. Like sometimes you might find yourself having to break your routine and homeschool your kids, or have all your meetings virtually, or find a new way to make a living, or support your team when they're all working from home, separated from each other. And we can help people do that by applying the rules and principles and techniques of improvisation on our stage to their stage.
Can you give me a piece of professional advice?
Sure, you look a little freaked out at the moment.
Well, I'm trying to figure out how this is going to help any kind of public health situation whatsoever. I've been wearing this dumb mask all over the place. Now, I will tell you it helps with social distancing, but I don't see why it's going to do anything else.
Well, that's a lot in and of itself. I mean, just keeping people away from you is going to keep you safe.
But we love people. I love people. I love to hang out with people and perform for.
It's a sacrifice,
Yeah.
being able to resist the temptation to cram people into a box, for example, like we do.
Well, actually, we, since no one else is here, I can take my mask off. We actually shut down a week before most people were told they kind of had to, because we did feel very strongly that hey, we can't do this. We can't have people sitting here sneezing on each other right now. It's just a bad idea. So we take that to heart. But I still don't understand how this is going to help.
Have you tried putting it on the bottom half of your face?
Yes.
I'm just curious.
Oh, I see. So it's that kind of mask.
That was my understanding.
Yeah, I do that. Sure, everybody does that. Everybody knows that, Olivia.
Yeah, and
My
you do
God.
it with some kind of cloth material or plastic material, and not paper mache or plaster or.
Okay.
That's just what I've heard.
No, I'm going to work on that. That's perfectly reasonable. I've got all sorts of things, actually. that I could, now this costume closet's a little messy, but I should be able to find something in here.
Well, this is the perfect time to start, doing that organizing and spring cleaning and stuff.
This won't do it.
I don't think so.
Let me try.
The shells are a little too porous.
Yeah, we're upstairs at the Mopco Improv Theater right now, and I'm just trying to find, if you're just joining us, there we are. Look at that.
Oh, that's great.
And it's in my color scheme. So we do believe it's very important. In improv, we have a concept called yes and the idea is
We can't hear you.
Really?
Now we can.
I wonder if I put my thumb on the microphone.
That's what it sounded like.
I might have. You never know. But I think this idea of yes and, are any of the things we were going to do with two of you not visible, can we still do that, Kat?
Well, sure. You've been asking for some advice. I think we've got, we have an expert here.
Aha. Yes.
If you'd like to ask for some advice, she speaks gibberish and Olivia can translate for you.
Well, that's tremendous. Okay, so we do have an expert in house. This is more like it, right? My video seems to be in and out.
Yeah, no, that seems more appropriate. Just be sure to be loud so I can hear your question, and then I will translate it to our expert.
Great, beautiful. So, folks, if somebody could let me know, type in the chat. It looks like we're breaking up a little bit. I hope it's coming through. Try to type in the chat. I'm going to walk back downstairs. Maybe it'll be a little better. We have the world's greatest expert on just about everything. And she can give you advice. She can answer your questions. She can do all sorts of things. So if anybody has a question for our expert, just type it right into the chat. Any topic whatsoever. Oh, I'm just looking at that yellow screen. That's bad. That's bad. I'm back here to plug in. Maybe that'll help. Do we have a question for our expert? Waiting on that chat. Meanwhile, I'm back here. I just
question and then we can get started.
Yeah. Well, I'm not seeing anything on chat.
So maybe you have a question.
I do. I do have a question. When they say lather, rinse, repeat, if you're kind of challenged in the hair department, is it really important to do the repeat part?
Zeshma list kash minar geze hamilistik ba walabani
minar is nufnibi ding 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 bullshit minar.
Companies just say that so you'll buy more of their products, so it's really not necessary.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. You know something, for all these years, you think about the shampoo that we could have shaved. If you're just coming in, you probably know we're at the Mopco Improv Theater. I have two of my colleagues on the phone. And Jim Salengo, thanks for the question. We actually have a question for our expert. What's a good way to use improv to keep Zoom meetings interesting? And I'll tell you, we've been doing a lot of Zoom meetings, so I'm sure our expert has some things to say. Olivia, can you translate that for her?
Yes.
So the way Easter
so there's three different ways that you can make Zoom meetings better with improv. The first is to play a fun game that makes you feel you're all in one space, doing things like throwing an imaginary ball to each other. The second thing is to listen very carefully to everyone who's in the space and make sure that everyone has a chance to talk, which improvisers have to do all the time. Listen. And the third thing is to play with the breakout room settings so people can be in smaller groups and get to talk with each other and get more intimately acquainted.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. I can add one too, which is to just remember that even though you're on your couch, it's really not appropriate during a Zoom meeting to like lie down and have a bowl of chips on your stomach and be kind of consuming the chips that way while you talk about the quarterly figures, because you just don't look that professional.
Our expert has something to say.
Yes.
Also, if you're eating chips, the noise carries throughout all of the rest of the call, so make sure to mute.
Right. Yeah, muting is so important, boy, isn't it? Like even off Zoom, sometimes I know that's one of the biggest skills an improviser has, is to know when to listen to what their partner is saying. Isn't that true?
It's true.
I wonder, Olivia, you probably have a question. You're allowed to ask a question yourself of the expert if you like, but you'd have to say it in English for us first.
Yes. I guess my question for the expert would be, what do you think has changed the least in this situation?
Oh, changed the least.
All right, so let me ask her, what has changed the least? What is eskisi? I am still here. You are still here. And we are still communicating with each other. So a lot is really the same.
Wow. That's really true. Mm-hmm. And the important stuff's still the same, isn't it?
Also coffee.
Tell me more.
Space. I basically need coffee to live.
Yeah, me too. I know without about a half-gallon coffee in the morning, I'm really not very good for much of anything at all. Well, we were very late getting started, and I'm going to assume that a lot of you won't be here past 4:30, but I also want to tell you that if you are improvising masks, there's a lot of fun you can have there. Allow yourself to become, sort of a different kind of person and find the good parts of that. Like for the moment, I sort of remind myself of a sphinx. And I didn't know that was going to happen at all, but it's just because I was trying to take this mask off and it got stuck on my head. So that's sort of part of what improv is about, is go with what's happening in the moment. And in this moment, I think it's important to recap that we're still here and we are serving you with free shows every weekend, Friday and Saturday nights at live.mopco.org. We also have a slate of classes that are coming up virtually, and we've discovered a lot, haven't we, Kat and Olivia, about doing classes online.
We have. I was listening to the expert, and the expert was saying, Olivia asked the expert what has changed the least, and one of the things I was thinking that has changed the least is our shows and our classes. We started out thinking what adaptations are we going to have to make and what won't we be able to do. And what we've discovered over the last month or so is that most of what we were able to do in person, even though we miss everybody, is we are able to do online and virtually. So we're continuing to do our training for our companies globally. We're continuing to do our classes, and we love seeing our students. We're continuing to do shows and storytelling. So come join us. It's been really fun.
Yeah. I want to add something too, because there's been a lot of discussion, I think, everywhere and in improv circles. How do we do this on Zoom? How do we do this virtually? And I'm fascinated that very often the first response is, well, with that won't work. We can't do it this way. We can't do it that way. Guess what? We can. And we will. We are. It's a big value of improvisers to celebrate failure. You try something that doesn't work. Well, hurrah! Great. That didn't work. Keep going. That's how light bulbs came around and also sorts of other good things. This is the time to do the one next thing. Have the one idea and try it. Find the one new way to communicate or connect with another person. And if it doesn't work, find one other one. Or listen to what didn't work. Listen to what you're hearing back from the people you're trying to talk to. And build with that offer. Kat, I'm going to go out on a limb.
Okay.
We have clients large and small. Some of them are international and are talking to us right now about building programs to deal with this new reality. I'm going to say that we could probably pretty happily give out some free thoughts if people just send us a line at hey@coppit.com, that we might give them some resources or some thoughts about how to do things in this sudden transition to an all virtual economy. Did I go too far out on that limb?
Absolutely. Be in touch. We have free programming happening all the time. We have free resources. We have a podcast. Just go to coppit.com, and I'm always happy to field calls and have conversations, if nothing else. Advice is cheap, but I'm always willing to listen and offer whatever support and help people are in need of. This and anytime. So,
key words from our little conversation today. hey@coppit.com. hey@mopco.org is a similar kind of email address. live.mopco.org. And I'm just going to say this to the DSIC. Just before we all got sort of a lockdown order or a stay-at-home order, I was on North J, where the theater is, at 10 North J, and I saw the little DSIC vehicle doing its work, making the neighborhood look better. And just my heart just almost just exploded out of my chest with joy. It is great what the DSIC is doing for downtown Schenectady, and now a larger part of downtown Schenectady. And we got to keep it positive, because it will all come bouncing back. It's going to be tough. We all know it. But yes, and the offer. Find a way to build what is. And we'll be fine. I hope we see some of you folks Friday and Saturday nights. We have a good time, and you might too. Olivia and Kat, thanks for joining me, not quite the way we planned.
All right, we're improvisers.
We are indeed. So we're going to say so long, and we hope you see us and we see you really soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.